In my opinion, there's no better place to go to find stylish, affordable thrift finds than St. Vinny's. Why? I found rare vintage pieces there. I've decorated my house with their furniture and frames, and it's local. The proceeds help people in need through microloans, food pantries, and housing support. Plus, it's eco-friendly. Reduce, reuse, recycle, my friends. Go shop at your St. Vinny's today. Find your nearest store at shopstvinny's.com. That's shop, STVINNYS.com. Today on CityCast Madison. The last month of summer is upon us, so hello, August, from the other side. That means it's time for moving season, hippie Christmas delights and horrors, ride the drive in our parks, and wrapping up our summer festivals. Get ready for our guide to August in Madison. It's Wednesday, July 31st. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Wow, wow, wow. I can't believe it. It is August already. What in God's name? I'm very confused. I'm feeling all the feels in a positive and negative way because I'm a fall girly. So let's go. Joining me today for this August guide is the leader of this podcast, Haley Sperling. Happy August soon.
Happy almost August, Bianca. I know, it's crazy. It's already here. Where did summer go? I swear to God, it was like March yesterday.
It was. In fact, it was. And we are also here with our interim newsletter editor, Ava Wynowski. How are you feeling about this summer change?
It's flying by. I just graduated from UW and I feel like it happened yesterday and now it's already August. So crazy how fast it's moving.
Oh my gosh, yes, our resident recent Badger graduate. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of Badgers here, which I feel like is relevant to our first guide tip, which is talking about hippie Christmas.
Best time of year.
Yeah, I mean, that is all the vibes that I think about with hippie Christmas. It's like, oh my gosh, it's time to find free treasures. And now that I've researched it a little bit more to be helpful, I'm like, and it's actually kind of a tricky thing for the city.
It is.
Go figure. So if you are new to Madison, you may have never observed this on the Isthmus area. It's kind of identified as the student moving area. So it's most of the main portion of the Isthmus and parts by the UW campus is designated as a student moving area. And the city helps with their refuse in a very helpful way. So people basically just dump all the stuff they don't want onto the sidewalks. And you will see it's free to be. It's free to be. You can get any sort of thing, and people go shopping for hippie Christmas and go look at what people have put out on their curbs. But there's a whole bunch to it. So, people put out beds and dressers and artwork and all sorts of things that they just don't want. And the things I learned about hippie Christmas is, so according to UW, 35,000 UW students live in the neighborhoods around campus. So included in this area. And this is something that's unique about Madison as well, is a lot of folks have leases that end on August 15th, right around August 15th. So it's just all the other cities I've lived in, nothing like this. Everyone, August 15th knows it's moving day, because that's just how Madison does it.
It'd be like that. I mean, even outside of the downtown moving zone, just all of Madison's leases are August 14th, August 15th. I live very far away from campus and my lease is up on August 15th.
Yeah, and it's something that I got used to. That's just the way of the world. And then I moved away. I was like, oh, literally no one else does this. But we do it here, and we have the month of August to put our stuff out. If you live in the student move-in area, we're going to link to the city's website so you can see if you fall into that category. But it's most of this, as we said. And with the 35,000 UW students that fall into this category, that's roughly the size of the city of Sun Prairie. So all that many people moving at once. Y'all, you know this isthmus is small. You know that's when people start, we're all start preparing for getting your moving trucks. Prepare to be right next to everyone else moving, and it to be a little complicated. But we're specifically talking about hippie Christmas, where people basically leave all kinds of stuff out on the street, on the curb. And apparently every year, this move out time generates over 1 million pounds of garbage that the streets division crews work very hard to collect, much of it by hand. So I feel like it would be useful for, we're just letting you know this is happening. We're reminding you for all the longtime Madisonians that this is coming. And for those of you who are new and those of you who need reminders, there's some things we can do to like help the city handle all of this stuff. And so I'm just going to like use this moment to shout out, don't forget, you can donate or sell your usable items. Consider doing that. That's good. Recycle, reuse, all of those principles. It's a great moment to actually do that stuff before just putting it on the curb. Because again, the city is in a deficit. All of this costs money. So being considerate. So donate or sell your items. Something to note, household electronics. If you live in this area, you're not allowed to put TVs, computers, printers, laptops, monitors out on the side. They're banned from Wisconsin's landfills.
Yeah.
So instead of putting those on your curb, you'll have to go to a drop-off site. Madison has multiple drop-off sites. They're very easy. And we'll link to that information in our show notes as well. But yeah, like other electronics, like Christmas tree lights, stereos, vacuums, whatever. You see them go out, they're not supposed to be, and it causes safety hazards, frankly, for people working and just like more time and resources. So try and be considerate about that. But yeah, you are allowed, you do not have to fill out any work orders. If you are in the student area, you are allowed to place large items out like couches, mattresses on the curb, and they'll come pick it up. There are a couple notes to that. Keep your stuff away from parked cars. They recommend keep away from parked cars and next to a driveway apron where cars can't park items in. So you want the items to be accessible, obviously, by the city workers. It says make sure items are away from obstructions such as trees, signs, fire hydrants, and overhead wires. So basically, the Madison Streets Division uses a claw truck to come collect the big items. It's kind of fun. But the claw has to have room to safely maneuver. So do not lean large items up against trees or poles. And collaborate with your neighbors. I love that, for large items. Put them all in an easy to access pile. So yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful time in Madison, and it's quite the feat for the city. It's a spectacle to observe. It's fun if you find a treasure. And let's not forget, the stuff is still going into a landfill, so you can be considerate on the front end.
I think, like one of the biggest things to remember here is that like there are literal humans behind every aspect of this. There are people that are picking up your trash. There are people that are picking up your old couches. And there are people that are moving in and out of these new houses and apartments. So like, be patient with each other. If you're on the isthmus in mid-August, like just know you're gonna be running into moving trucks. There's probably gonna be a traffic jam. Like, be nice to each other. It might be your new neighbor that's like just getting their bearings, and also again, like the city's streets crew are like, they're working so hard and they've been working so hard for so long. And like, this is a very busy time for them and for everyone. So again, just like keep people in mind. That's my only spiel here.
Have you guys found good stuff? Last year I found like an artwork that I quickly snapped up. Do you guys have any good hippie Christmas memories?
I have this like gold velvet chair that I picked up.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
normally my rule is that like I don't like picking up fabric-y items because you never know, but I saw it was put out like in the morning, and then I went to lunch and I was like, okay, if it's still there in the afternoon, then I'm gonna grab it. And it was still there. So I was like, it's a sign. I need this chair. And I still have it. That was literally maybe in like 2018 and it's 2024 allegedly, and it's still in my house in this very moment.
I was not with my roommates, but one of them picked up an old Jimmy John sign that they found like on the side of the street.
Jealous.
I don't even.
I want
it's
that.
so random. We're probably getting rid of it. So
Okay, I'm
check
coming to your
outside
house.
near my house. We're gonna be throwing it in a hippie Christmas pile. But yeah, I was not there to like guide them into maybe leaving that one behind. So that one has just been hanging out. Big Jimmy John sign in our basement, which is crazy.
Jimmy John's is very important to me in my college experience, so I'm super jealous. Speaking of college experience, it's not just college folks who live on the Isthmus, obviously, but it is, a student area. That's definitely a part of it. So I did want to mention, and we'll probably talk more about this in September. I won't push us to fall, but students do come back and start moving into housing at the very end of August. And the first UW Badgers game is on August 30th. We are playing Western Michigan at Camp Randall, and tickets are on sale. I just think you should know that the Badgers, our football team, will start playing this month at the very end, and that will be a scene.
Go
the
Badgers.
Sea of Red. Go Badgers. Be safe in your moving. Before we get into more of our August guide, let's take a quick break. So you're listening to CityCast Madison. You clearly care about what's happening in our city and have fantastic taste in podcasts. I've got a recommendation for another local news podcast you gotta check out. It's called 365 Amplified. Every week, the award-winning reporting team behind Madison 365 digs into their most important stories from the week. They do stories and perspectives you likely won't get from many other mainstream outlets. They invite on community leaders, lawmakers, artists, and more for candid conversations. Recent guests include State Senate candidate Samba Balde, celebrity chef Elena Terry, and Ford Madison striker Derek Gebhardt. They drop new episodes every Friday at madison365.org/amplified. You can also search 365 Amplified wherever you listen to our show.
Excuse me, can you take a photo of me?
Sure, but if you had the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6, you could snap your own hands-free selfies.
Really?
Watch! I just flex it to the perfect angle, set it down, and FlexCam with Galaxy AI automatically zooms for the perfect shot.
Whoa.
Post-worthy.
New profile pic-worthy.
Flex the newest Galaxy AI foldable Z Flip 6. Get yours now at Samsung.com. Samsung account login required. FlexCam length varies and is shorter than standard zoom length. Galaxy AI provided free until end of 2025 on supported devices.
And we're back enjoying Madison in August. What does it look like? Haley, what's something we could share with the good folk?
So one of Madison's biggest events is happening this August, and it has been a Madison staple since 2009, but actually has taken the past couple of years off due to the pandemic. But it's Ride the Drive, and it is billed by the city as a way to celebrate Madison's commitment to, quote, a healthy, active lifestyle by focusing on the environmental and economic impact and importance of social integration. So all of those words to say is that they're encouraging people to get out and walk and to bike and to get out of their cars and use alternative means of transportation. It's basically just like a big bike/walk around the city, and there will be several different parks. They're calling them like park hubs that are hosting food, activities, and just fun along the way. So like I said, this year's event is super duper special because this is the first Ride the Drive back after it went on a multi-year hiatus that was sparked by the pandemic. And this year's event is bigger than ever. The 2024 route is 6 miles long and will have 6 park hubs along the way. Some of the parks that will be involved include Cleave Park, Brittingham Park, Olin Park, Law Park, R. Richard Wagner Park, and McPike Park.
Those are some good parks.
There's some really good parks. And, based off of like where those parks are, you can kind of get a visual map, a mental map in your mind of like what the route is. And so Some of the events that take place at the park, like they have bike checkups, they have music, there's going to be adoptable animals, there's going to be giveaway, there's going to be activities, and of course food from local vendors, because if you're walking and you're biking, you need to eat.
So you can walk there and then walk out of there with a dog?
You could
Or a
make it
cat?
happen. Or a cat.
You know people be walking their cats in Madison.
People do be walking their cats in Madison. I wish it were me, but I'm not that brave, and I don't think my cats would like it. So they're indoor children just like me. But yeah, the event itself is super cool. It literally shuts down several major roads. So take note of this. If you are a driver, it shuts down several major roads from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on August 11th so that walkers, bikers, and strollers and any who beyond can roam the streets freely without worrying about cars and motorists.
I love this. I love this concept.
It's a really cool event. And like I said, they've been doing it since 2009. It's like a really big thing for the city. And the streets, rather, that they're shutting down include Regent Street from Randall Ave to West Washington, much of John Nolan Drive, pretty much from Olin Park to Blair Street, and then pretty much all of Willie Street is going to get shut down. There will be cross traffic allowed in some areas, and we'll link to a map for this like in our show notes so you can actually get a good visual of where and what's going on. And one thing to note is that like if you live or normally park along one of those streets that's going to be shut down, you will have to move your car during that time. And
city streets. We've been talking about city streets a lot.
They're
where everything happens. There are the guitar heartstrings of the city.
They are the guitar, they are the bass, they are the drums, like they are the whole band, truly. It's kind of insane, you know, when we talk about the work that the city does, like the streets division, it's a lot. But this event is actually hosted by the parks division, which is pretty cool. So it is showcasing a lot of what our lovely parks have to offer, trying to get people to look at our streets in a different way, right? Like look at it from a pedestrian point of view.
Yeah.
So again, the event's going to go on August 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the formal event timing. And they are looking for volunteers. So if you want to get involved, we'll throw a link to that in our show notes.
Yeah, I was just going to echo how cool it is to kind of embrace the biking and walking around Madison. I grew up in a pretty suburban neighborhood, and there was not a lot of access to that, where there's not a lot of sidewalks. There's not an easy way to get around without cars. So being in Madison, I'm a complete bike commuter myself. So super excited to see that kind of showcased around Madison for a big event, which is super awesome.
I love
that.
Also,
cars get like so much of the day. I think that's like, it's like a political philosophy. We got pushed off onto the sides, and now we're taking it back. Take the streets. Take it to the streets.
Take back the streets. I love it. Yeah. And again, Madison is it's a walkable city. It's a bikeable city. It's also about to be a very bus-friendly city, which kind of brings me to our next point about something else that's going to happen in August. Allegedly. I say allegedly because the city wants to roll this out by the end of August, and sometimes things happen on time and sometimes they don't. So don't hold me to it, but I'm letting y'all know right now, while we're on this theme of transportation, in late August, the city is hoping to roll out a new fare payment system for the bus. So this change is hopefully supposed to make riding the bus faster, easier, and more convenient for everyone. So it's a new fast fare payment system is what they call it. And some of the features include like an online account where you can reload your like smart card that you'll be able to get. There's fare capping. So they're trying to make the bus as affordable as possible for riders. There's going to be ticket vending machines at BRT stations, and you'll be able to board and tap at any bus door when boarding on the BRT. So like you can board on the back and like tap your card in. The cards are super cool. You can pick them up at Metro itself, or you can request one and they'll mail it to you. You can load money onto your card at like Metro, or again, do it online because they'll have an online portal, and it's cool. So yeah, they're going to be implementing this hopefully at the end of August. So watch out if you ride the bus or get excited to ride the bus. It's very new, very exciting. And like, you're not going to have to pay for like big monthly fees up front. That's kind of the big thing, is that like you can kind of like pick and choose what you want with this new bus system. So I think the city is really just trying to encourage more people to test it out, you know? So single rides will be $2, day passes $5, week pass $16.25, and a month pass will be $65. And there are reduced fares for youth, seniors, those with disabilities, and people with low income. So we will put a link to all of that information in the show notes as well. So lots of exciting transportation news to look forward to in this August.
Wheels on the bus go round and round. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. The changes can't come soon enough. I mean, the streets are looking different. We're seeing those BRT stations going up, looking proper, changing things. People
They're
getting annoyed.
Nice. They're looking real nice. I'm not going to lie. Then they got the street names on,
yes,
like
they
in
do.
front of the station.
It just so happens that one of my favorite streets that I used to be able to turn on, I no longer can turn on.
Yep.
But I'm not going to add to the cacophony of complaints that I've been hearing from Uber drivers, like people who haven't quite understood, like, what are they doing with these red blacks? They don't quite get it yet. But when you start seeing the technology getting better, things faster, this is for you. Maybe you take the bus, because guess what? We don't want to hear about the parking complaints either. And there are more and more cars every day. We're all feeling it. Choose to ride the bus.
So true. And there's so many activities that we can take the bus to in August. Ava, you've got like a little lineup going of festivals that are still yet to come, because August is still summer. Summer is festival season. Lay it on us, girl. What's going on?
Yeah, I think soaking in the last little bit of summer with a ton of festivals in Madison is a great way to end a lovely summer in Madison. So I'm planning to create a list breaking down all the different festivals that will be going on in an upcoming newsletter. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But I wanted to kind of shout out a couple that are coming up, 3 kind of bigger ones that we have all been talking about. So the first festival coming up will be Sessions at McPike Park from August 8th to 11th. This is the second Sessions at McPike Park taking place this summer. This event offers a ton of live music for folks to enjoy, and there will be 6 different artists from all over that will be performing, so you definitely don't want to miss the variety of artists that you'll be able to see. There are also a ton of different retail and food vendors for folks to enjoy while listening to all of the music, so definitely want to check this one out. I know, Bianca, you had the opportunity to go to the one in June. I don't know if you want to talk about your experience there.
Oh man, it was incredible. Like, it was truly, it's all volunteer run, and it is all phenomenally talented musicians from all over the world. So many different styles of music. I got to see a couple of local acts. I've heard their names forever, and then when I saw them, I was like, oh my God, I get it. So from rock and roll and punk rock to like listening to, my biggest thing was like listening to the Quattro, this father and son duo from Puerto Rico, just like completely transfixed an audience in a small tent. And I've got to say, it's definitely worth it. And there's so many like community players in it. Like, and actually I see on August 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Ride the Drive with Madison Parks. I was going to be there as food and soft drinks and entertainment, and, you know, like Ward FM live broadcast things. We love them. You know, like, and there are just so many great acts lined up and so many good Madison people involved. So you will not be disappointed if you go, because I just like, I left like floating on a cloud and exhausted as heck. I was talking, but I was really happy.
Always exhausting, but always exciting in those festivals. I think you made a great point.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool to have the opportunity to like put the face to the names that you may see or if you've never heard of them before, it's always cool to kind of have that recognition right away. I know I personally always love that when it comes to my music or different art pieces that I might be looking at. So always cool to kind of bring it to real life for folks. But now kind of transitioning into our next festival. The next one I wanted to touch on was Africa Fest, which will take place on August 17th. This will be an all-day event from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., also at McPike Park. So McPike Park's getting a lot of action in this August that you definitely want to stay tuned for. The festival features live music, cultural drumming and dancing, a parade of nations, a fashion show, food, art, and more. This event is hosted by the African Association of Madison. Something else that I thought was super cool is that there is also a bunch of different running races that folks can sign up for called Strides for Africa. There are different races consisting of a 5K run and walk to a kids fun run. This event will also help bring clean water to rural communities throughout East and West Africa. So not only is it a fun race to be a part of, but it's also for a really great cause. You do have to sign up for the race, and it does cost something, but again, for a great cause. However, if you don't want to be a part of the race, the whole festival, Africa Fest, is completely free for folks. So you can just feel free to come, enjoy, see all the different vendors, enjoy the music. However, if you do want to, you can help donate to the African Association of Madison, as they are accepting donations.
Nice. That's cool. I didn't realize that there was like a race component to like the festival. That's so fun.
I know. I feel like I always tend to find those things when looking for different
I was going to
events.
say, athlete Ava strikes again.
Here I am. But kind of going away from McPike Park for my last little festival shout out, I wanted to touch base on the Orton Park Fest that's going to be taking place from August 23rd to 25th. To kick off the festival on the 23rd, this will be family night with a ton of food, vendors, and none other than the Chocolate Shop ice cream. So definitely want to check that out with your family. There will also be performances from Forward Marching Band. And then on August 24th, there will be other music performances and also an auction, which sounds super interesting and very exciting. And lastly, on Sunday, August 25th, there will be a kickoff with a jazz brunch from 9 to 11 a.m., followed by different music performances throughout the day. We over at CityCast Madison are super excited about a specific performance on Sunday with Dessa, which will be at 6:15 p.m. because she will be on an upcoming podcast. She's a rapper and singer from Minneapolis, and she's also part of the indie hip-hop collective Doomtree Records. So stay tuned for that interview.
Yes.
I'm so stoked.
Orton Fest is a leader. Yeah, and Dessa's the headliner, and we're talking to her.
I love that. That was kind of like our not a Hail Mary, but I was kind of like, hey, let's shoot our shot and see if she wants to come on the show. And I'm super stoked. Like, I'm from Minneapolis, so I grew up loving a lot of Doomtree artists, and seeing her, like, just one, being a female in the space, like, I love that. And also, like, seeing her career progress and grow, being, like, from, like, hip-hop artist and singer, and now she's like a philosopher and a poet and a public speaker, and like she's just like an overall really, really cool human. So I'm super stoked for her performance, super duper stoked for her to be on the pod. Definitely tune in when that comes out later.
Yes, she is so cool. And actually the first time I saw her was at the Rathskeller a decade ago. Yeah, and she's just her spoken word, her words are very, very thoughtful and engaging and rapturing. Okay, that's enough words. I think that we've given a pretty good August guide, like the big things. It's moving time, it's right in the drive, and it is getting to some festivals and maybe taking the bus.
Take the bus. Take the bus to a festival. Take the bus to ride the drive. We love it.
And listen to our podcast on the bus.
Listen to CityCast Madison on the bus. We love it.
Ava Wynowski, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
And Haley Sperling.
Thanks, Bianca.
That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. And if you enjoyed today's show, why not share this podcast with your hippie Christmas shopping buddy? See you back here tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, have fun.